Robschild. No investment advice. Welcome to the show where we view the financial markets using Benjamin Graham's investment philosophy, macro technicals, and a touch of crystal ball gazing. Today is Monday, June 9th, 2025. Today's episode starts with our headline, Crude Oil Makes Me Nervous. I shared this chart last week from Bravo's research showing how the price of crude oil often leads unemployment higher, and with the SOM rule already triggering about a year ago, and crude oil having been priced since really the beginning of April, lower than we've seen since 2021, talking multi-year lows. Today we had a breakout above $65 a barrel in crude oil. I'm wondering if this push up in crude oil, if it becomes sustained, could be the main factor that really ends up triggering this highly expected recession. The other main headline today, looming 30-year bond auction. You can take a look at upcoming auctions directly from treasurydirect.gov. It's a government website. They show all of the dates that they announce and the auction dates. We have one on Thursday that many people are talking about, a 30-year bond auction of $22 billion worth of debt. If you remember last week, we had a 20-year bond auction, which didn't go so well. And some people are nervous about this auction coming up. I'm less nervous. I think that the auction maybe didn't go so well because the people that are making these offers on these bonds in these auctions are no different than you and I. They look at the chart of the yields and they saw them going up and up and up, and they were like, oh gee, how much yield can we get off of these things? And now that yields have been cooling off really for, a week and a half, fairly consistently, I'm sort of sensing this 30-year bond auction is going to go off much better. Surprisingly better, actually, is my crystal ball rating on it. One reason I can say this with a little bit of confidence is that the 30-year break-even inflation rate, yes, there's a 5-year, 10-year, 20-year, and 30-year break-even inflation rate, part of the TIPS market. I'm going to say, since this whole period from May of 2021, it's not like this break-even inflation rate has been rising and rising and rising. If this was going higher and higher and higher, then yes, we should have a little bit more concern over some of these bond auctions. But some of the bond auctions go really well and some of them don't. They've been going all over the place. Some of them being unexpectedly strong. I think the 4-week bill recently was like ridiculously strong. I believe it even got a yield below the Fed funds rate, which is not priced into the Fed funds. In other words, it's like starting to worry about cuts coming sooner. Anyway, I write looming because other people are worried about it. Me, not so much. I think it may end up being a much stronger auction than what other people expect. Moving on to the community topics, Robschild got his new mic cable. The sound should be a little bit better. I tested both cables back and forth. It sounds better to me. Let me know in the comments. I had a data cable and now it's a true XLR cable. Next community topic, what moves, if any, did you make today? Robschild did nothing, just sat on his hands. Coming up later this week, we have Wednesday, Thursday, CPI, PPI, and then, of course, initial and continuing claims, which has been getting nervously higher and higher. This really could be the week that sets things on fire. We'll see. And we also have the 30-year bond auction, $22 billion of debt, like I mentioned earlier on Thursday. Also coming up, continuous tariff updates, as always. Right now, Trump and Xi are negotiating. I guess the main topic is rare earth metals. We'll talk about that. I am invested 5% in my portfolio in rare earth miners myself. When we get to that chart, I'll discuss it. We also have coming up federal budget updates. Those are not all done with yet, and that affects markets for sure. Thank you for watching, subscribing, commenting, and supporting. The subscription button, you put your mouse over the starry box here and you click subscribe to subscribe. I'm 72 subscribers away from that 1,000 mark. All of your support is greatly appreciated. No updates to the daily reminders, macro views. See my website in the description to see them explained. And no changes to the crystal ball ratings nor the Robschild portfolio today. Onto the charts, starting with the SPX, the S&P 500 rising 0.09% today. Hardly budging at all. I am seeing things in other charts that are starting to make me think that we are actually going to keep going higher in the S&P 500 for a little bit here. The first being that the IWM, the Russell 2000, is finally breaking higher here, going up 0.7%, notably above this little pivot point here. This is looking more bullish than it had been. Before it was kind of like, can we get above this 209 level? And now we're solidly above it, adding bullishness to markets. Also, Bitcoin, which is it's become a leader, really, of the stock market, especially the S&P 500, and with it going up almost 3% today, tells me, yeah, there's probably more room to go on the upside on the S&P 500. Add to this an idea I'm stealing from Verified Investing. We're at this same high in the semiconductor industry, MSH, that we were at in February 20th of 2025. This is important only because the S&P 500 was at an all-time high at that point when the SMH was not yet at an all-time high. And so this can mean that because the S&P 500 was at an all-time high at this level in SMH, and we're back up to that level, and we are not back up to all-time highs, suggests that the S&P 500, we may end up getting an highly expected double top here at this point, maybe even poke above it. To add to the bull case, the Fear and Greed Index from CNN is in greed mode. Moving on, TLT, my favorite place to be, went up 0.11%, notably opening on this red line of $85. It's a very important line because it's acted as a support zone from January of 2025, April of 2025, and so we are currently above it. That seems bullish to me in bonds. And again, if rates go down, which I don't know if they're going to go down with oil going up because rates follow oil, right? I mean, look, markets are a little crazy right now. But one little thing to add to this too is that the MOVE index has been really dropping. Friday's candle dropped unexpectedly for me to a new recent low, bouncing up a little bit today. Junk bond credit spreads is the next chart I want to bring up. This updates for the last trading day, so this is for Friday, and we're back to 3.09. This is unusually tight. It says there's complacency, which adds to the idea that, yeah, okay, S&P 500, we could go up a little bit, and then, I mean, me and everyone else is seeing and thinking the same exact thing at this point, that things are headed lower. It's just really a matter of time. I also want to bring up copper today. Remember, copper has a PhD in economics. Green candle today, up 1.5%, still within the Friday's red candle. And this is a humongous topping tail, signaling that this is a reversal. So there's not a lot of bullishness really in copper. From my eye, it looks prepped to continue to collapse here. Interestingly, this is not what's going on in silver. Silver just having a parabolic move to the upside. I'm understanding there's resistance at 37.60 from a measured move from the bottom of April to a bull flag to that point. Also scrolling way out, it's the similar top price back in about March of 2012. Rare earths has been on the tongue of Jamie Dimon and other people, and now it's literally one of the big things that people are honed in on right now with the talks between Trump and Xi. China has a lot of production they supply a lot of the world with the rare earths. Now, if a wonderful deal is done, REMX actually short term should head lower. If the negotiations blow up, then it means that the prices of rare earth metals may actually go way, way up. And that would be very good actually for holding REMX. I'm holding it personally because it just seems like a very, very long under invested area. This exact fund was in the hundreds of dollars back in 2011. I've brought it up on many shows before. Let's just show that really quick. May of 2011, this fund was over $300, peaking out around $350 a share. All the way back there in 2011. And today, this fund of companies that produce rare earth metals is currently valued at only $40 a share. If there's a lot of room for it to go higher. So this is one of these value spots that I really love holding at the moment. But if the talks between Trump and Xi, like I'm saying, if it blows up, this will go up actually. But otherwise, it'll prevent this from really skyrocketing if things go really well. Here on Robschild, we always bet on the end of the world. That's all from me and my crystal ball. Hope you enjoyed. Thank you for watching. Look out for that Trump-Xi negotiation. It's going to be plastered all over the news. Should get pretty interesting. See you next time. Robschild.